All right, this is a quick little review of how to graph a linear inequality. That's what we are more familiar with as graphing the line and shading it in. It's one of those, and we know that because we have an inequality symbol right here. There's no longer an equal sign. Now, in order to do this, before we do anything, we can't really graph it. We got to go ahead and put it in a certain form. That form is known as slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Excuse the handwriting, it's a little messy here on the iPad. So in order to rewrite this equation as y equals mx plus b, we got to get this y value by itself. Notice how the y value over here is by itself? So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and start off by subtracting the x value on both sides of the inequality. That's right here. Let's pretend that's an equal sign for now. So once we do that, these x's go away and we end up with negative 2y is less than, I'm going to go ahead and write my x value first because that's how it is in our formula up there, negative x plus 6. So now that we have this negative 2y is less than negative x plus 6, we still got to get this y value by itself. So since we're multiplying negative 2 by y, in order to get the y by itself, we're going to divide each and every term on both sides by negative 2. Something's going to happen when we end up doing that. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you're going to have to flip the inequality sign. So it's going to be pointing the other direction. So once we cross it out, we're going to end up with y is greater than 1/2 x minus 3. Let me explain how we get that 1/2 there. This right here, hold on, let me change the color here. This right here, there's technically an imaginary 1 in front of that x, so negative 1 x over negative 2. This fraction right here simplifies to positive 1 over 2. We can pull the x on the outside. As you see right here in y equals mx plus b, the m and the x are separate. That's what we want. And then 6 divided by negative 2 right here will simplify to get us negative 3. So this right here is the equation that we're going to be graphing. So let's go ahead and get started graphing this. The first thing that we're going to have to graph is the y-intercept. That is the b value. That is the number that we are adding or subtracting. So we're going to go ahead and graph that first. Now, in order to graph the y-intercept, we have to start at the origin. We have to look at our y-axis. That's always going up or down. So we have to count down 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be the point of our y-intercept. So there's our first point, our starting point. The next thing we're supposed to do here is we're going to graph the slope. That's going to give us our next point. So you see how our slope is a positive 1 over positive 2. We got to remember the slope is always going to be rise over run. So if it's rise over run, we have to go up 1, and we always run to the right 2, because the right over here, as we move to the right, those are positive numbers. So since this is a positive number, we move to the right. Since this is a positive number, we move up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here at our point and go up 1 over 2. 1, 2. And that's going to bring us right here. So I'm going to go ahead and plot the point right here. Then we're going to do that one more time, go up 1 over 2. And that's going to bring our next point here. We want a minimum of 3 points just to make sure our line is accurate. Now the next part is the inequality part. It's kind of tricky. Everything else we do from here on out is going to be determined by this symbol right here. Y is what? Well, y is greater than. If there was a line underneath this symbol, like this right here, we would have a solid line. Sorry guys, it's kind of a little hard to read. You're going to have a solid line. However, notice how we do not have that underlining point in our actual equation right here. There is no underline. So that means we are going to have a dotted line. So I'm going to go ahead through all my points. I'm going to draw a dashed or dotted line all the way through. Don't forget to add your arrows in the end. Remember, it's a line. It goes on forever and ever and ever. And then we have to look at our inequality symbol again because we still have to shade. Because it's not equal to, we're looking at everything above y because y is greater than. So we're going to look at this line right here, and we're going to shade everything above it. So you can start at any point in the line and move up. So everything over here, we're going to go ahead and shade. So on the test, your final answer is just going to be this graph. That's all I need. So when you are going to be solving systems, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make sure you have your y value by itself. You're going to graph 2, possibly 3 of these on one graph, and the graph is going to be your final answer. That's all I'm going to be looking for. I wish you guys good luck. I hope this tutorial helped.